Hi guys, and welcome back to another video where today we're going to be predicting the scores of week 2 of the 2020-2021 Premier League season. Now before we get on to predicting this week's results, let's have a quick look back at how well we and you got on in week 1.
Last week, I'd say I had quite a good week. I had 6 points with no perfect results, but that was 6 out of 8, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, just the 8 fixtures last week with 4 teams not playing, of course. Myself, I had a bit of a disaster. Come away with just the 3 points. Representing the viewers last week was Screenboy 8, and Screenboy came away with 4 points. So between the 3 of us, we didn't get any perfect scores. But top scorer of the week in week 1 was Philip Alex, and Philip came away with 11 points, 3 perfect scores, which was absolutely fantastic. Of course, we're running a league this season. Well, we'll see how long it lasts for. But yeah, on the screen now, you can see that 55 of you entered your predictions last week. As we said, Philip Alex, top scorer, of course, with 11 points with those 3 perfect scores. Other people with some perfect scores, we've got Tiji Maman Vagase there, George Smith, a few others of you there. The Dugout, of course, LFC 1892 with 1, Isaac A. But Nathan finds himself in, where are you, Nathan? 23rd in this table. Myself, down there in 53rd. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do a lot of improvements in week 2. But that's enough of last week. Let's crack on and make some predictions for week 2.
Okay, so first up at 12:30 on Saturday, we have Everton versus West Brom. Now, Everton were absolutely magnificent against Spurs the other night, even though the Spurs couldn't offer anything but a dirty dishcloth. But yeah, James Rodriguez, what can we say? I mean, he could be too big for Everton, but I don't know. It's a perfect hit for him. Ancelotti, the way they've been playing football, Ancelotti has something scary brewing there for Everton. But they're coming up against West Brom team who were absolutely awful last time round. Playing Leicester, losing 3-0, looked awful as well. Nothing going forward. At the back, they were shaky as anything as well. Jamie Vardy continuing the madness, of course.
Well, it was 2 penalties in the end.
2 penalties in the end, but he was strong throughout the match, even though he did pick up a little injury. But I think it's going to be another 3-0, but that's been very, very harsh on them. It could be 4, it could be 5, especially with the way that West Brom have been playing. So 3-0, well, 3-0 minimum.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you, Nathan. I'm not going to actually go for such a high score line. I think Everton, the Toffees, will come out 2-0 victors in this fixture of the Baggies, of course. They've just signed Ivanovic, who's come back into the...
Ivanovic, Chelsea legend.
I could never pronounce that first name, but yeah, he comes back
with Luis Suarez, of course.
Yes, yeah. He had on his dinner plate, didn't he?
Yeah.
So, yeah, he comes back into the Premier League at the age of, I think he's either 36 or 37. Offers a lot of experience there at the back. Whether he slots into that defence remains to be seen. But as you said, Rodriguez last week looked very good. First game in the Premier League. Decore as well, coming in from Watford, looked good as well. And Allen, they're slotting into the middle midfield. So yeah, Everton got a lot to be positive about. As I said, I think they'll win 2-0. And Calvert-Lewin opening his account for the season as well. I don't think he scored. He might have scored 1 goal after lockdown.
For a while, yeah.
So yeah, all looking good for the Toffees at the moment. Next up, we've got the only 3 o'clock kickoff on Saturday, which is a little bit disappointing from my point of view. We've got Leeds at home against Fulham. Now, Leeds last week and doing really well against Liverpool, and lucky not to force a draw, you could say, against the Reds. Fulham, yeah, what can we say about them? At home against Arsenal, on the wrong end of a bit of a thumping, and didn't really offer anything. Surprisingly, a little that Mitrovic didn't start up front for Fulham there. So this is... In this game, we're going to see at least one of the promoted teams get a point. None of them did last weekend, of course. So I think it's going to be tight. However, I think the way that Leeds played last week, the way they pressed Liverpool and really put them under the cosh at times, I can see that Leeds are going to come away with a narrow victory. I'm actually going to give Fulham a goal in this one, just a 1, but I'm going for a 2-1 Leeds victory at home at Elland Road.
Interest. I've actually gone the same. Fulham, their defence it looks just the same as when they were in the Prem 2 seasons ago. Nothing at the back. They're relying too much up front, and it's not going to go well for them. They're definitely going down with the same points total as last time, maybe even less, because the Premier League is much stronger than it was 2 seasons ago. But coming up against the Leeds side, they looked fantastic against Liverpool. I got a feeling they're going to have a strong season this year, and they could have even done it and got a draw at Anfield. Jack Harrison, unbelievable in that game.
Great strike.
And Patrick Bamford, he has the physicality of a 5-year-old child. How is he scoring goals against Virgil van Dijk? It's completely ridiculous. But yeah, Leeds gonna get their first victory at home, first victory at Elland Road in about 16-17 years. How has it been so long? But yeah, 2-1 Leeds, going exactly the same as you. Next up, we got Man United versus Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace surprising me last week. We're getting a victory somehow over Southampton. Southampton looks like shambles last week, to be fair, allowing that goal in. But Man United, first game of the season, I got a feeling they're going to start strong. This is where Crystal Palace will start to fall down a little bit, especially against the teams up there. So I'm going to say 2-0 Man United.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go for a Manchester United victory in this one as well. This takes place at 5:30. It's on live on Sky Sports. I think every single game this weekend is actually live on UK TV, which is great for your armchair supporters. Yeah, as you say, Nathan, Crystal Palace last weekend, positive result over the Saints. Thoroughly deserved, I think. Wilfred Zaha, excellent strike. Will he be there by the end of the transfer window? Probably, yeah. Man United, we don't know how they're going to perform really, because there's nothing to go against really over the last few weeks. Will Harry Maguire be playing? I'm not sure if Rashford's injured at all or not.
Could be, it depends.
I don't know. I haven't actually looked at any Red Devils team news, but I think they're going to be too strong, Man United, in this one. I'm going to go for a 2-1 home victory. Wouldn't be surprised on a draw. And last season actually, the Eagles won this fixture.
Interesting.
Yeah. Next up, we got Arsenal against West Ham. 2 polar opposites last weekend. Aubameyang has pleased Arsenal fans by signing that long-term deal, so that'll settle everybody down there. Arsenal looking very good. Okay, it was against Fulham last weekend, but I fully expect that run to continue. They beat West Ham in the same fixture last season, 1-0. I think it's going to be a bigger margin this season. West Ham at the moment look in a little bit of disarray. I think last weekend they hit the bar a couple of times against Newcastle, so I think they'll score against Arsenal, but in the end, I think the Gunners are going to be too strong. 3-1 to Arsenal.
Well, West Ham, what can we say about them last week? You made Jeff Hendrick, of all footballers,
he had a great game.
The guy who I've never seen do any skills in his life, not even a rollover or anything. He's the most Brexit footballer going, and he's just... How can you make Jeff Hendrick look good, West Ham? Just relegation instantly there. But they're coming against an Arsenal team. Aubameyang getting the contract,
signing the contract.
Fine at last. All the Arsenal fans are happy. Can definitely see Arsenal winning this one. There's no way West Ham are going to win it, so I'm going to say 2-0 to Arsenal. Next up, we've got Southampton versus Spurs. Both teams losing last week. Spurs look terrible, let's just say. If Harry Kane gets injured, then I'm going to be concerned, because you've got nothing up front really. You haven't got a proven striker there, not even a backup. But they're coming against the Southampton team. They're going to want to bounce back. Hasenhüttl's going to be straight into them, but they have a tricky start to the season. I can't pick a winner in this one. I'm going to go for 1-1.
Yeah, logically speaking, it is a difficult fixture to predict. Of course, this is on Sunday at 12 o'clock, live on BT Sport. Yeah, Spurs last weekend, lack of creativity, you could say. Didn't really have that many chances. Everton, their opposition looked brilliant against Spurs. But last weekend they were actually, out of the 8 fixtures, I think there were 6 away victories so far. predicted all these to be home wins. So I actually fancy Spurs in this one.
Really?
Last season they lost this fixture 1-0, but I think Mourinho's had the players back in training for a whole week. They're going to be working on stuff, you know.
And they could have Gareth Bale by then as well.
I don't think Bale will sign this week, but you know, I think talks are going well, whether he'll get in there or not. And I've also heard that they're looking to bring more quality into their squad as well. So that being said, I think Spurs are going to win this one 1-0.
Interesting.
Next up, again on Sunday on Sky Sports at 2 o'clock, we've got Newcastle at home against Brighton. Now, Brighton last weekend, we were on the end of a 3-1 loss against Chelsea, where Newcastle looked excellent against Newcastle. So, tough one to call this one. Last year, both fixtures were ending in 0-0, so not many goals you can expect in this fixture, although the personnel has changed slightly for both clubs. So,
they've actually got a goal scorer up front now, Newcastle. So
Wilson actually scored last weekend. Ryan Fraser as well, his mate from Bournemouth. So Brighton actually played well, and at times putting Chelsea into the cosh. So difficult one to call. I'm actually edging to a Brighton win in this one, but I'm not. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
Interesting. I've actually gone in for a Newcastle win here. It's not going to be 0-0 again, especially with the goal-scoring prowess that Newcastle have. Their attack is absolutely disgusting, frankly.
Yeah, they won last night as well in the Carabao Cups.
Indeed. That's a shock. Newcastle never win in the Cup as well, so they must be on to... Well, see, Steve Bruce is working wonders.
Yeah, it was only a 1-0 victory, mine. So.
I know, never thought I'd be saying that, but I just think Newcastle have too much quality for Brighton, so I'm going to go for 2-1 here. Next up, we've got a tasty one, Chelsea v Liverpool. Finally get to see, we could get to see how nice and fluid that Chelsea attack is, especially against a top team like Liverpool. I think Ziyech is still out, and I think he's still got an injury. I think Pulisic is still out as well, so still missing some key players there.
Werner went off with a possible dead leg as well.
Yeah, so he could be out as well. But coming up against Liverpool side, the defence was a bit shaky last time. I would say, Van Dijk was struggling a little bit, but I don't know. I can see a stalemate in this one. There's going to be goals either way. I'm going to say 2-2 here. Yeah,
mouth-watering fixture, this one.
Yeah.
This one's at 4:30 on Sunday, live on Sky again, as we've already said. But difficult one to call. Werner looked sharp. To me, he looked better when he went out on the left wing, or when he pulled out to the left. Havertz, very quiet game really, but it's his first. Both of their first games in the Premier League. Reece James was absolutely awesome. Brilliant. Going forward anyway, maybe defensively a little bit suspect at times, but Liverpool conceding those goals against Leeds, so they'll have to work on the defensive. They probably have this week in training, so I think they'll tighten up a little bit. At the back, Trent Alexander-Arnold didn't have the best game he's played in a red shirt. Last time out, it was a 5-3 victory to Liverpool at Anfield. But
then again, Chelsea's changed a lot.
This fixture last season as well was a 2-1 victory to the Reds, and I'm actually going to go for the same scoreline. I think Liverpool will sneak this one. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to the Reds because, Salah looked razor sharp last week. Next up on Sunday, we've got the fixture between Leicester and Burnley. It takes place at 7 o'clock on Sunday, live on BBC. I think it may even be on BBC One, this one. Definitely on the iPlayer, I expect. But this is Burnley's first fixture or first run out of the new season. Leicester looking good last weekend with that 3-0 victory over West Bromwich Albion. They didn't put up much of a fight, did they, the Albion?
Not at all.
So, Burnley stubborn in defence. I'm not sure how many players they've got available to them. I think they've got something like 3 injuries, so they could be down to 15 players or 15 first-team players in the squad on Sunday. So I think they will be resolute. However, I think the Foxes, with Vardy in a little bit of form, albeit with from the penalty spot, I think they will win this one. I'm going to go for a 1-0 victory. And James Justin last weekend looked really good. And debutant Timothy Castagne from Belgium as well. He looked excellent. Really slotted into that Leicester defence. So I'm going to go for a narrow 1-0 victory to the Foxes.
Interesting. I think Burnley, they're going to want to start the season well. Leicester, well, even though Leicester did try and get the upper hand this season, I don't think they are as strong as last year, but I don't know, I just fancy Burnley in this one.
Yeah.
I think Sean Dyche is going to want them to get off to a good start, so I'm going to say 1-1 here.
Yeah, difficult one to predict.
Yeah, very difficult. And like either team could just get a goal in the last minute anyway, so it's so hard. Anyway, next up we've got Villa, Sheffield United. Sheffield United starting off with a loss last time against a very good Wolves team. They did look impressive last week as well, especially with the strength that they have on the bench now and all. But coming up against a Villa side, winning 3-1 last night against Burton Albion. Ollie Watkins scoring on his debut as well, which is very good for him.
Jack Grealish as well.
Grealish continuing to get the goals, but I don't know. It's Villa, isn't it? They tend to win one and then lose one for me. And Chris Wilder's going to have them fired up to come back around. Otherwise, they're going to be in the relegation spots if they're not careful. Sheffield United straight away. So I'm going to say a narrow 1-0 to Sheffield United here.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I can't actually decide who's going to win this match, so I'm going to sit on the fence with this one. I don't think there'll be many goals. I think both teams will want to get points on the board now in these first couple of fixtures. Yeah. This one's taking place at 6 o'clock on Sky Sports on a Monday evening as well. So rumours around today as well, Nathan, that Ryan Brewster could be, or Sheffield United are really looking at him, so it might be that they sign him in the coming days or weeks.
To be fair, it's quite ironic that Sheffield's second biggest club is picking up Wales' second biggest club, so all their best players really. It's quite ironic, to be fair. Is there a link between them? I wonder.
Yeah. Of course, from an Aston Villa point of view, you already said that Ollie Watkins scoring last night. They did put up quite a strong team last night against Burton Albion. I think they were 1-0 down as well. But Grealish, as we mentioned, he's actually signed now on the dotted line. He's committed himself to Aston Villa for the next, I think, something like 4 years.
Very good, yeah.
4 or 5 years. So, Villa fans will be well pleased with that. 0-0 for me.
No, interesting.
So the final fixture of the weekend, again taking place on Monday evening. This takes place at 8:15, is Wolves against Manchester City. Now, Wolves last season got the better of Man City in both league fixtures.
Getting the double.
They did. I think
impressive.
This particular game at home at Wolves, they won 3-2. So a very difficult one to predict, although Manchester City really need to get off to, really need to pick up the points already, because if Liverpool beat Chelsea, they'll be 6 points behind them at this early stage of the season. So I think Manchester City are going to pull out all the stops. They got a great squad, as we already know, there up at Manchester. So I'm actually going to go for a 3-1 away victory to the Sky Blues in this one.
Interesting. I'm actually going to go for a draw here. I think Wolves with the same record against Man City, and it's a Wolves as well, even though that doesn't matter anymore. But I think this run's going to continue. It's just going to be a case where Man City just can't beat Wolves.
Yeah, Wolves last weekend against Sheffield United looked fantastic.
They looked insane, especially really with the depth on their defence and everything. But I think they'll just have enough to get a 2-2 draw here.
Oh, a draw then, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so that concludes our predictions for week 2 of the 2020-2021 Premier League season. As usual, I'm going to leave a template of these fixtures in the description. So if you'd like to play at home and you'd like to join the league, or if you're not already in the league, so submit your predictions as a comment. It took me quite a long time over a couple of to work out the scores and everything. But let's see. If the 55 who played last week can continue that, and we can gain some more predictors. But Nathan, before we go, is there anything you'd like to add?
Subscribe to my channel, link in description below. Also, live stream 12:30 on Saturday, Cardiff, Nottingham Forest.
Excellent. I look forward to that one.
Can't wait for it.
So make sure you watch that. Anything else?
No.
Fantastic. Okay, we'll leave it there. I'll get on with editing this video. Let's see if I can get it up by midnight. But for now, we'll bid you farewell, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers, guys. Fantasy football table coming up now.